Hi there, today I'm going to try and demonstrate fluffy omelettes. The art of it seems to be to make sure that when you get the eggs, separate the yolk from the white, beat the white until it's all fluffy. I put air into it, and then once that's done, put it into a pan, and the pan's got to be reasonably hot. So you want it not so hot that it burns the omelette underneath, and not so cold as it doesn't heat it through. So I've got it on about a medium heat, I suppose. I need to put a bit of oil in there. I'll just do that while I think of it. And just make sure the oil covers the pan. Also, once you've done that, you need a spatula. So the idea will be to just go around the edges of the pan, and once you think that it's fairly well done, just pop it into under the grill, and I'll put the grill on. I think in American terms that's broiling, I think, isn't it? Is that the word they use? So I've got the grill on, or the broiler, is that the right word? And once I've got a skin on the top of the omelette, then I'll put some cheese on top, or whatever other thing I want to introduce to it. Now, be aware that you can put stuff in the omelette, but if you've got any sort of heavy stuff like ham or something like that, it's probably best just to wait until it's skinned over, then put the additional things like ham in or on it. Okay, let's get started. So I've got the pan heating up. It's quite a heavy pan, so I've got even distribution of heat. Probably easier with a non-stick, but if you're going to use a non-stick pan, probably best not to use metal, but get a plastic spatula. Right, so here's the 2 eggs, and here we go. So just try breaking the eggs against the, and this is the tricky bit number 1, is making sure that the yolk stays on the separator. And you can pick up these separators fairly cheaply. And you notice I've got 2 cups and something to mix it in. So the yolk is going to go that direction, and the white only, it's going to go in that direction. So success with that one. Fingers crossed number 2, same success. So when you hit the egg, make sure you don't break the yolk, and then very carefully, and there we go. Oops, done it again. Yolk, white separate, so I'll put the yolk in there. Now the yolks I'll add into afterwards, I'll need to beat them up, but the yolk will stop the air getting into the egg white if they're mixed at this stage. So you can use a fork or get an egg whisk, or a whisk, and I just whisk it around like that. And slowly but surely I should be introducing air into the white. Now, depending on whether it's very fluffy or partly fluffy, just stop when you feel it's fluffy enough. So it's fluffing up as I speak. And you may be able to tell, I don't know if you can see in there, probably not, a bit too dark, but it's getting all fluffy. I'll just keep going for a while. Right, and it's about job done. I'll tap it It sounds quite hollow because there's now air in the yolk than the white. At this stage I'll put in the seasoning I want, so you can put in herbs or whatever you feel like adding to it if you're doing a herb omelette or such like. That's quite fluffy. I've got the yolks in here, as I said. I'll need to break those up, so I'll just use a fork just to give them an initial blend. Right, so I'll just do the salt, and just a pinch or whatever it is to taste. I usually put in a bit of ground pepper. Just a touch of that. Now I notice with the oil, it's come up to heat now I think. I've probably got too much in there. If that oil goes over the top of the egg, it's not going to stay fluffy. So anyway, I'll put it nicely oiled up so that should not stick, and the excess I'll just pour off. That should do it. Okay, back to the action. Now I'll put this in here. I'll add a little bit of water, not too much, just a drop. Just to get the rest of the yolk out of there. And then a final beating to just get the yolk in. Not too much, otherwise it will start to collapse. No, I haven't done that. Next job, let's pour it into the pan. Okay, fingers crossed, here we go. I'll just start on this side and just keep going all the way around. And just to make sure that the oil does not come over the top. Right, that's the main action done there. I'll just adjust the camera, so I'm going to then move it into the oven. So I'll just crank the thing down a bit. So I should be able to tell whether it's cooking okay around, because if I touch it around the edges, it should come away fairly smoothly. So it doesn't need too long. Now I've preheated a plate, so what I'm going to do is just let that to cook part of the way through, and then I'll put it under the griddle, broiler, whatever it's called. And once I've got that firms up, excuse me, I'll sprinkle some cheese on. So it just seems to be doing quite nicely at the moment. Okay, that should be about it. Right, so just put it into the oven under the grill. Now if you are using the oven, it's probably best to make sure the pan you're using has got a handle that's not going to be affected by heat. So probably with a plastic handle you might need to be a bit careful. That's how I'm using just a cast iron, and if you can see it's just sort of happily setting now at the moment under the grill. And this is a bit of a judgment call now whether you like it runny inside or hard. It's how long you leave it for. So I think that'll do me. I'll put the cheese on. So I don't know if you can see that, it's not running anymore. So I'll put the cheese on and get the cheese melted, and then be ready to eat. So with now it's got a crust on it, you see the cheese isn't falling through the egg. I would like to have that melted, so I'll put it under the grill again and just wait whilst it gets ready. I'll turn the pot off, get the plate out and ready. Right, the cheese is starting to melt. As I say, you've got ham, or I think if we're going to use anything like onions or anything like that, it's probably best to pre-cook them. So that's it, sort of fairly well melted in. I'll say the final acid test is, will it come out of the pan? Okay, we shall see. So just draw around it. Oops. Seems to be moving okay. And I'll just whip it onto the plate and just turn it in half like that. And that's how to make a fluffy omelette. Good luck with it. Bon appetit.